111,423 unique IP addresses. I mean, how many kids does that amount to?
It's hard to know. And by the way, this is only one database, and there are multiple databases.
Coming up here on GMA, we've got the story about Tim Tebow, who's had detractors throughout his entire season, but you cannot deny at this point that he is now a huge phenomenon.
Tim Tebow sometimes painted John 3:16 on his eye black when he was in college at the University of Florida, and that's a practice, by the way, the NCAA has since banned.
What breaks your heart the most? And she wrote down the number 20,000. And I said, what does that mean? And she said, it's a problem. I said, what problem is that? It's the 20,000 boys and girls that have been abused, and their images and videos have been captured, but nobody has been able to identify them.
Tebow's got a first down and more. Touchdown!
It's like having a fullback at quarterback. He is so strong. Who's the quarterback and who's the linebacker? Tim Tebow wins that.
That's classic Tim Tebow.
The first time I would say I felt called to something specifically was when I was 15, and I met a boy in the jungles of the Philippines who was born with his feet on backwards, and because of that, he was treated and viewed as less than insignificant, throwaway, and many viewed him as cursed. Because they believe that he had special needs, his feet were on backwards, he's less than, the gods have cursed him. You might know he's not cursed, but what are you gonna do about it? But then the first thing I did when I graduated from Florida is start the Tim Tebow Foundation.
Not a big football guy, but 316's painted on your eye black.
Mm-hmm.
How many things added up to 316 during that game?
You know, in such a cynical, sarcastic society, oftentimes looking for the negative on anybody or anything. If you're fortunate enough to spend 5 minutes or 20 minutes around Tim Tebow, your life is better for it.
Until someone knows them, how could somebody rescue them? I knew that day that my heart was broken and my eyes were open.
He said, Timmy, you just got the numbers back from the game. And he said, during the game, 94 million people Googled John 3:16.
I wonder how many people were on the fence and then saw that happen.
316. That's how many yards Tebow passed for in the game. An eerie echo of the numbers he used to paint on his face.
Do you realize what happened? Yeah. We just beat the Steelers. We're going to play the Patriots. It's like, yeah, I know what happened, dude. Like, why'd you ask me such a silly question? And he goes, no. Do you know what happened? Timmy, it's exactly 3 years from the night that you wore John 3:16 under your eyes. During the game, you threw for 316 yards. Your yards per rush were 3.16. Your yards per completion were 31.6. The ratings for the night were 31.6, and the time of possession was 31.6.
What do you think's the best approach? And he said, bring the best teams and players together.
This isn't rare. This happens quite often. They'll say, no, don't tell me because it reminds me of my kids. Don't tell me because I don't want to know that. Don't tell me because I don't want to hear that. If the boys and girls that are going through this evil could hear you right now, what hope do you think they would have?
That stuff, man, that gets to me. Especially when it's somebody that could actually really make a difference. I mean, I told you at the beginning about Ryan and what I saw him when I found that reel on Instagram of him hacking into pedophilia websites and getting the user base and trying to get that to one of the federal agencies to act on it. And nobody was paying attention to him.
I didn't know for sure that I was going to be able to get into this website. I just knew I wanted to do something about it. And I found a vulnerability in their platform. I got in. from that point on, I started to exfiltrate the data every single day, all of the users.
I feel called to this. This is what I'm gonna do. People need to hear about this. They need to know what's going on. It scares the hell out of pedophiles, what we did. It educated parents. It brought hope.
And it wasn't 20,000. It was over 50,000. And the second goal is, how do we protect them? And that's where Operation Renewed Hope was born.
The 36-year-old popular Christian athlete and founder of the Tim Tebow Foundation continues his work to combat human trafficking.
He is sly and he is cunning and he is the father of lies. And we have to be able to know the truth so that we can also know when the lie shows up.
How much of the world do you think is a lie? How much of what we all think that we know for a fact is a lie?